Welcome everyone to another episode of Mechanisms and Mentorship with your host Rafael Testai and my very special guest Aaron Munker. Aaron, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So Aaron has already had an episode with us. Watching the link below, he'll tell us what the company is that he started, Pipeline Design and Engineering, where we are right now, about his podcast, being an engineer podcast, and his whole story as a business owner. But today we reserve this episode for something that we call the Wave Design Accelerator that has to do with CAD. So Aaron, could you explain to us what is the Wave Design Accelerator?
Yeah, let me explain just a little bit of background about the Wave first. Several years ago, I went out to lunch with who is now our Director of Engineering, and we were talking about some new products that I was thinking about developing. And he said, you know what you should really work on is a way to make product development less expensive. Because let's face it, product development is super expensive. You're paying highly paid people to spend lots of hours inventing things, and it just takes a lot of time and it costs a lot of money. At the time, I thought to myself, well, yeah, sure, make product development less expensive, but how do you do that? Like this giant industry, and there's no switch you can magically turn to just do that. So I kind of wrote it off. But more recently, we always kind of struggle a little bit finding the right customers. The work that we do tends to be expensive. It's in the at least tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds or even millions, for developing custom automation and equipment and things like that. So I thought, how can we reduce the gap between what customers are willing or able to pay and what it actually costs to develop some of these things? And I was sitting in my backyard just brainstorming. I had a blank piece of paper and a pen, and I was writing down ideas. And one of the ideas was what we're calling now design accelerators. That grew to become a larger platform, which we call the Wave, which is a set of tools, education, and community to help engineers succeed. And design accelerators is a key element of the Wave. So design accelerators, if you're familiar with the low-code, no-code trend that's going on in software these days, it's kind of the CAD equivalent to that. And if you're not familiar with that trend, it's CAD building blocks. It's a starting point, and we'll show some examples a little bit later to illustrate exactly what that means. But instead of designing everything from scratch, you have some templates of a sort to start with that really accelerate the design process.
Fantastic. What's the analogy they use for software?
Low code, no code. It's a trend that's been going on for several years in the software industry, where instead of coding everything from scratch, they have these blocks of code that are pre-made. They do a certain function, and they just drag them into their code.
I've seen from my previous life, when I was a business owner, I owned a mobile app called EventKey, that there were software development super expensive. There were these apps that are doing what Aaron described. You buy it from the App Store, and you can drag it into the template, and it can kind of do what you were trying to do. It's not so much customized, but it saved you thousands in doing that. Yeah. And a lot of times it got you close enough to what you actually wanted. So that's a good analogy. So why don't you give us an example of what's a design accelerator?
One of the examples is a device holder, especially in the work that we do, whether it's a fixture or some kind of piece of larger machinery or equipment. We typically have to hold a device somehow. Maybe we're doing inspection on the device. Maybe we're assembling a part of the device. Maybe it's some kind of verification test that the customer needs to do. But you have to hold a device somehow. And so we're always making these device holders. So we thought, well, let's just make a design accelerator out of this. So we have a starting, a template to start from.
Before you proceed, I want to highlight to the viewers, because you and I have seen this before. Would you mind highlighting the device, the dummy device, like in a different color so people can see it in contrast?
There
we go. So the blue right now is the dummy device, and everything else is the holder, right?
That's right.
Okay,
yeah.
Take it away.
Right. Yeah. So starting with this design accelerator, this device holder, the only things you need to change are really the device that goes in there. So you take out this placeholder device, which is our kind of demo pipeline device, and you drop in whatever your device is, and then you just core out the area underneath it. So it matches the profile of the device. You can see right here that we've got this profile that matches our demo device, but you would just swap this one out, put yours in, and then core it out so it matches your device, and then you have a nice nesting feature there. And we have some other features built in so that it's really easy to change this. Sometimes you might want to mount this with screws, and so we've got screw holes here, and very easy to change the position of the screw holes, of course. But maybe you want a simpler method of mounting them. So instead of using the mounting screws, so we'll just suppress those. We have some quarter turn fasteners, and we use these pretty frequently, actually.
Look at that.
So there's the quarter turn fastener all ready to go, and then we can unsuppress other quarter turn fasteners. I think we've got 3 of them in here. So there's 3 quarter turn fasteners, and then if we go back to the assembly, they're probably going to be, oh, no errors, good. We just unsuppress the quarter turn fastener folder, and there's the hardware, and then of course you can just populate that using a pattern into the other features. But all the hardware is already there, it's in place. The receiving geometry for the quarter turn fastener is there. We already have the toggle clamps here to hold the device in place. And then let's say that you wanted to mount this vertically, so you're not even really using quarter turn fasteners or the screws to mount it in place. You just maybe want to mount it onto a base plate or something in the upright orientation. We've already got these little blocks here. We can change that also to, let's see, where is that? Vertical mounting instead of horizontal mounting. Okay, so we have vertical mounting features as well, and then we go back and just suppress the upright and unsuppress the vertical. So now you can mount it to a base plate in the vertical orientation like that. So the point is there's all this modularity built into it, and if you were to design this holder from scratch, it might take you a day, right? Something like that to put it together. But starting with this design accelerator, it takes 30 minutes, maybe something 30, 45 minutes to reconfigure it for your new device and whatever mounting you want to use. So that's an example of a design accelerator, but basically they're prepackaged CAD solutions that have already been vetted. We've built these things, we've tested them, we know they work. I want to point out that design accelerators are not like McMaster downloads or GrabCAD downloads or Misumi downloads. They're not necessarily intended to be like the final all-in-one solution. It's an element of your solution that you're dragging into maybe a larger assembly. It's just a component, but it's a pre-made. The drawings are included with them, so there's already a drawing made. You might have to change a few dimensions, but you're spending 15 minutes changing a few things as opposed to hours creating a new drawing. And again, we've built these things. We know that they work, so you're not iterating several times until you hone in on exactly the right geometry or solution for something. So that's an example of a design accelerator.
Who's the target audience for the design accelerators?
I like to think it's everyone. If I had to pick a certain demographic, it would probably be more junior engineers. This is a way of democratizing mechanical design. Some of you may be familiar with the Da Vinci surgical robot. Pretty cool medical device that doesn't do the surgery for you, but it allows surgeons of different skill levels to perform surgery with almost the same skill level. And with design accelerators, even if you're a junior level engineer, you can pull these things into your design and have the benefit of senior level design engineers, mechanical engineers who have designed these design accelerators, not just designed, but built them and tested them and verified them. So it really accelerates the process of design, and especially for those junior level engineers that want to contribute more quickly at a higher level, this is a great fit for them. But honestly, even more senior engineers, I've been doing design work a long time, 15, 20 years, and it would take me close to a day to design this one from scratch, this device holder. But I don't spend a day designing it these days. I just pull this in and make a few changes, and 30 minutes later, I'm done.
One thing to take note of is how neatly organized the feature tree is over there on the left. Everything is labeled, under a folder. So peaceful. It's like a Mozart song.
It is. It is. Yes.
Well, I'm thinking that if this thing takes off, Aaron, you're going to run out of business.
Well, maybe I'll start a podcast.
To understand that joke, you have to watch the first episode. Otherwise, you won't get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, how do you have the confidence to go into the unknown and launch these initiatives? Because they're not free to hire engineers to work on this stuff. You don't know if it's going to work, if people are going to buy it. So how do you get that courage?
I have had to learn to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. And it's been a journey, and I still feel awkward when I share an idea for something new. You know, whenever you're trying to do something new or different, you automatically get, I don't know if pushback is the right word, but people look at you kind of funny, like, you want to do what now? Are you sure? Does that make sense? Well, what if it doesn't work? And to this day, I feel embarrassed is not the right word. I don't know, just uncomfortable, I guess. A little bit uncomfortable when I share new ideas with people because I know it's different and it's not something people are used to or comfortable with necessarily. But you just have to get past that and have enough confidence in yourself, I guess, to throw something new out there.
Very well said. Well, what's something that the design accelerators could use? If there's someone out there watching, what do you need help with? Throw it in the universe. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. If you have ideas for what kind of design accelerator you would like to see, please let us know, and we might end up developing it for you. We do have a page on our website right now, teampipeline.us/wave, where you can download a handful of these design accelerators for free. And we'll be adding to that page over time, so continue checking that out. And if you have an idea for something that would speed up your workflow, by all means, let us know, and we might just design it for you and put it up there.
So if people want to get a hold of you, how should they reach out?
They can go to our website. There's a contact form there. That's the easiest way. We'll get the form. Feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn as well. And those are probably the two best ways.
As a reminder to the audience, his name is Aaron Munker. It's going to be, of course, in the description below. And the website is teampipeline.us. And there's another website that people can visit called designaccelerators.com, right?
Yeah, it'll just automatically forward you to that teampipeline.us/wave site.
And are these free, or how does this work?
Right now they're free. They will not always be free. I mentioned that this is part of a larger platform called The Wave. The Wave is going to include other elements as well, a vendor connection where you can go to find the best vendors for R&D and manufacturing industry, design reviews as a service, mentoring for engineers as a service. Eventually, we hope to have in-person events as well. So right now, we're kind of just testing and seeing what works, what's useful for people. And to get as much feedback as possible, we're offering these design accelerators for free. Again, there are a small handful up there right now, but over the next weeks and months, we'll be adding more. So we will have a few dozen, and they'll be free for some period of time until we learn enough to flip a switch and change this probably into some kind of subscription model, or maybe it's a la carte. I don't know. But take advantage of them now because they're free for now.
And by the time you watch this, it probably won't be free. So, well, I appreciate everyone tuning in. I always try to bring engineers that think outside the box, that are doing different things, the uncomfortable things, and bring everyone value watching. Senior engineers that teach us things that they've learned in their careers, and also junior engineers that have figured a way to expedite the learning curve. So this is your host, Rafael Testay. I'm a very special guest, Aaron Munker. Until next time.